everyone. Welcome to the Montana Tribal College Team and Events part of this session. We are very excited to be with you today and just very humbled and honored to be partners with American Indian College Fund and learn from so many other great teams doing amazing work for students. We are here today to share our story of some of the good work we are doing in Montana. And my name is Amy Leary. I am the Executive Director of the Montana Post-Secondary Educational Opportunities Council. I am also a very honored and humbled member of the Montana Tribal College team. I am here to do just a basic introduction to get us started, to give you a feel of what we do with the Montana Tribal College team. About 15 years ago, amazing individuals from our 7 tribal colleges came together to brainstorm how we could help students together even more. And through that, we were able to create many different events and programming. And so I'm going to share with you right now some of those events and allow you to see firsthand through a little video some of these college fairs and relationship building that has happened in the last 15 years.
Many of you have dedicated your lives to teaching, to giving of others. I have given almost all my life to my own people. So that was a preview into a few of our events over the last few years. And these are in-person gatherings
that really focus around building relationships to better serve students. And I would say that's been a common theme when you look at themes throughout the times that we've worked together, is to be student-centered and all about collaboration and building relationships to better help students. And hopefully you'll get to see that today as we will show you a little bit deeper dive into how this team was formed and what makes it work in Montana. And you'll get to meet several of our amazing team members that make this team very special in Montana. Before we can go on into that, I do want to show you a little bit more of some of the new developments our team has started to do in the last few years. Is we started to offer a Montana Tribal College Institute, which was a virtual training to really, again, establish that relationship with education professionals, not just in Montana, but as you can see in 14 plus different states, even Canada and other countries have been involved as well, to try and build relationships with our tribal colleges with, again, that end goal of better helping students together. And we've had hundreds of professionals be part of these events. We've served thousands of students over these years. Again, I'm excited to dive deeper into this and introduce you to a few of our great team members with us today. So with that, I pass it over to Allie Smith, who is going to talk to us a little bit more about our partners and sponsors in this team. So Allie, it's all yours.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Allie Smith. I am representing from Blackfeet Community College in Browning, Montana. I am currently the chair of the Tribal College Circuit team. So I'm super excited to announce the tribal colleges that are part of the Montana Tribal College team. So just looking at our map, we'll go with Salish Kootenai College, and that is in Pablo, Montana. Blackfeet Community College in Browning, Stonechild Community College in Box Elder, Anna-Nakota College in Harlem, Fort Peck Community College in Poplar, Little Bighorn College in Crow Agency, and Chief Dull-Knife College in Lame Deer. So we all work together to represent the tribal college team. And we come together for annual meetings, for summer conference, to kind of help facilitate how we can make the college fair better, as well as really representing each college with our different cultures, our language, to actually help better improve the students' understanding of where they're coming from, like how they should be representative when they go on to university, or when other college members interact with each of the other reservations and communities too as well. So part of the tribal college team, we have the leadership structure of the tribal college representatives. So we elect a chair and a co-chair, and we also have a liaison that works to build the relationship and connection with MPSEOC. The chair and the co-chair positions will rotate within the tribal college team, and we do vote into position, and we usually do that during summer conference to give a representation for all of the Montana tribal colleges. So on the screen there, you see a very special thank you to all of our partners and sponsors. So without all the tribal colleges being representative and working together, we could not do it without MPSEOC, Montana Colleges. So they are the driving force in really creating that diversity and understanding and connection with the tribal colleges. But also a huge thank you to our partners and sponsors, Gear Up, Montana University System, American Indian College Fund, Office of Public Instruction, Reach Higher Montana, Montana Youth Apprenticeship Partnership, Montana Department of Labor and Industry, Montana School Counselor Association, Montana Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators, and Montana College Access Network, as well as Montana Post-Secondary Education Opportunities Council. So a very diverse group of members coming together to represent and support our students to really help ignite their passion for continuing on their educational journey. Montana Tribal College Team in MPSEOC is a 501 nonprofit organization, and we are part of the Montana colleges and the 25 accredited colleges and universities in helping keep Montana and education connected. And through the leadership and structure of MPSEOC, we as a tribal college circuit team provide and work together to build the tribal colleges in Montana. That's a quick overview of the structure and partnerships as well as the sponsors. So I'd like to turn it over to Emily to hear more about our history and how did we get here.
Thank you very much, Allie. Oki Nistuni Donigu Emily Ferguson Steger, and I'm the Director of Student Engagement at the University of Montana. I'm also honored to serve as the MPSEOC Tribal College Circuit Liaison. About 17 years ago, when I was working in undergraduate admissions as the Diversity Admissions Counselor, I'd receive invitations for college and career fairs from around all 7 of Montana's reservations, as well as some of Montana's large urban centers for fairs focused on Indigenous students. One of the saddest moments was when I realized that many of these fairs were overlapping or on sequential days with distances impossible to make in the given time. As a proud alumnus of the Blackfeet Community College, this really wore on my heart as these fairs weren't a thing when I graduated, and I didn't get a chance to understand all of my options and truly see what I had in front of me. With a lot of frustration, I would call my colleagues at the other institutions to see which fairs they were attending, ensuring each fair had equitable coverage and we weren't all going to show up to the same fair, leaving some fairs without any representation. Generally, I would cover the tribes closest to me, and my friends across the mountains at Montana State University would cover the tribes on the eastern part of the state. I felt defeated not being able to meet the needs of our Indigenous students and community, and I went to our state association, MPSEOC, to see if they had any suggestions or ideas. Amy Leary, MPSEOC's executive director, not only took the time to listen, but also encouraged me to connect with a couple other key admissions folks from across the state, from small and large public institutions, and of course our tribal colleges. We formed an informal brainstorming group that was able to look at the challenges in a problem-solving approach. MPSEOC has, for over 30 years, coordinated the Montana College and Career Fairs and virtual counselor update. The fall fairs consisted of 3 weeks of fairs, empowering all Montana high school students to attend and reaching over 9,000 students annually. I personally had attended these fairs and as a college rep and realized that our state really needed something similar, but a version focused on our tribal communities and hosting institutions and organizations who could support and cultivate Indigenous student success. Through these brainstorming sessions and using our personal relationships and connections, we were able to get all of Montana tribal colleges to agree to have a singular circuit. And that would be a great idea for all. It quickly became apparent that while we all had good ideas and good intentions, we really needed to have a central organization that was not specifically tied to any tribe or tribal college. MPSEOC, with its expertise and best practices, honed in how to host a college and a career fair, an online registration system, a payment system, their well-established connections with institutions of higher education, agencies, high schools, and even possible sponsors made perfect sense to be the conduit to launch this first of its kind circuit in this nation. That's when the hard work really began. With every tribal college represented, an elected tribal college team chair and vice chair, MPSEOC executive director, and other MPSEOC members began working on the logistics. Since we have 7 reservations, we realized it would take at least a week and a half. Schools are not in on the weekend, and most folks in our reservation communities aren't located directly in town. Knowing this, we decided that we would need to break this into those 2 weeks, 4 fairs and 2 fairs on the remaining weeks. Once we had everyone at the table, we began discussing how this would fit with everyone in each community. One of the first things that we determined is that it would be best to host these fairs at the tribal colleges so that the visiting institutions and organizations could actually meet administration, faculty, staff, community members, and students, all while better understanding the importance of tribal colleges, the distinctiveness of each tribal community, and the uniqueness of each tribe's history and culture. We felt this was vital as the institutions and agencies who attended and recruit our students need to understand how to best support our tribal members going through these pursuits. While typical college and career fairs might involve representatives arriving 45 minutes early, this circuit embeds dedicated time for tribal relations, a meal, and a fair. Each tribal college does this entirely differently. Some provide tours of their campus focused on new programs, outcomes, grants, and other things. Other schools provide cultural lessons where folks are learning stick games and sampling singing and language. Yet with other schools, we are provided student panels and conversations with elders. 15 years ago, we launched a circuit with a dozen or so institutions and agencies attending all sites. This has swelled over the years to closer to 70 different agencies represented and attending, and it continues to grow each year. Last year, due in part to the pandemic, but also out of the desire of institutions and students around the US and Canada, we launched a complementary to the in-person tribal circuit, our MPSEOC Tribal College Institute. Through this platform, we were able to provide registrants the opportunity to meet, connect, and build relationships with each of Montana's 7 tribal colleges. Each campus hosted a 45-minute session, which included campus overviews, highlights, welcomes, cultural relations, open dialogues on how to better support our students, and live Q&A. Each year, we have continued to learn from our failing forward, growing from lessons learned, and improving to ensure that we are meeting the needs of our tribal communities we serve. With that, let me turn it over to Joey.
It's a beautiful day in Cheyenne Country. I'm Joey Detano, the registrar here at Chief Don't Knife College. So moving on to findings, as I guess the biggest takeaway, Emily said in failing forward, number one is we have come a long ways, and we wouldn't have come this far without our partnerships, with our support, and our amazing ED. If it wasn't for Amy, and the relationships that she forms, and has and continues to form, I suppose, along the way, bringing everybody back together to share best practices once a year we've made time at the annual conference. But really, it's about collaboration, communication. It's about doing what we do best and bringing that across the state to Indian country, and which is serving students. All of us that have either sat on the board, that do currently sit on the board, or are part of not just the tribal circuit, but MPSEOC in the whole, all of them really do have a servant's heart. And that's what it takes really to work together, that collaborative effort. It wouldn't happen also without having that separate entity like MPSEOC to be able to bring all 7 tribal colleges together, and give us each the ability to speak and to be able to talk outside of administration. I mean, we all know AHEC meets, we all know, and all of our presidents have conversations, but the boots on the ground people are never the ones that have those conversations. And so that allows for us that collaboration, that communication. The one thing that failing forward, as Emily put it, has taught us is, don't be afraid to try new things. If it's not working, move forward. What worked, take what we can. What works, what doesn't, how can we better it? Share best practices, because a lot of times the thing is just because, say, Chief Don't Knife College is doing something that works, doesn't necessarily mean that Allie at Blackfeet's going to know it works if we never communicate it and we never share best practices. And once again, like I said, the amazing partnerships, without whom we would not be able to do half of what we do, especially American Indian College Fund. Thank you for everything that you do for all 7 of our tribal colleges here in Montana, and throughout the nation as a whole, for serving Indian country.
Great, thank you, Joey. I would love it if we could just for a minute give a round of applause to Allie, Joey, and Emily, that this team has helped sustain this program for years, and they are very humble that they have not shared how much work they have put in to make this team a success. And so personally, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. It's an honor to be on the same team. And it is also a big thank you to American Indian College Fund. You're right on, Joey, not just for what you do for Montana tribal colleges and students, but what you do for the whole nation and beyond. We are just very honored to be with you today. I would like to just close out by saying that we are here to help. I think it was mentioned multiple times in our session, but we learn together, we fail forward, and we learn from each other. So if we can share what we're doing to help you and your students, please reach out. We have all of our contact here. Any one of us would be happy to help you, help your students, and vice versa. If you have ideas for us, we would love to hear them. And if you're ever in Montana and want to be part of these events with us, you are always welcome and invited. Thank you for having us today. We appreciate being part of this group. Thank you.